What's up guys? So I'm finally catching up on all these comic review videos like I had promised. If these videos get you guys interested in a writer, in an artist, in a colorist, if these videos get you guys to pick up a book, then I feel like what I'm doing is worth it all. I'm secretly just trying to get people interested in all the shit that I'm interested in, so I have more people to talk about it with. But in all seriousness, I just want to say thank you guys from the start. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate all of you. I hope all of you are doing well, and if not, I hope things get better soon. Today we are going to be talking about Thor issue number 11, and I finally got the cover, guys. This right here, guys, that's character progression. That's character development. I got the cover now, guys. Damn. Another solid issue, but to be honest, not a lot of things actually happen. But instead of going bigger, we actually get to go deeper into the mad mind of Donald Blake. So we pick back up with him at dinner with Jane Foster, you know, basically just catching up. And Jane from the jump can obviously tell that something's wrong with him, and he kind of explains that the connection between him and Thor used to be a lot stronger back in the day, and that for whatever reason it's, you know, fading, which is probably because of the transfer of the Odin Force and everything that's going wrong with that in the comics right now. And this is obviously bad news for Thor, who is still stuck in that pocket dimension, which I believe is located inside the World Tree Yggdrasil. While Thor is in there, he gets paid a visit from Radaskor. I believe that's how you say the name. I didn't even know what this thing was until this issue, and I was like, what the fuck kind of shit is this? Like, this is some kind of unicorn squirrel, like fucking demon? Like, what is this thing that I'm looking at right now? Which, you know, is not a bad thing. I think it's a great design. It's freaky as all hell, but I kind of dig it. But yeah, Radaskor is actually a god of chaos and also a messenger god as well. Thor is like saying like, hey, can you send a message for help to Asgard? But as we found out in the last issue, and Thor is finding out right now, Asgard is basically gone. They've been banished to the blood dimension, and we pick back up with them there, and we see Bill, and he is in his human form now. He's hurt and he's angered that he wasn't able to do anything to stop Donald Blake, and he kind of feels a little bit guilty, and he's trying to get Lockjaw to teleport everybody back, but apparently Lockjaw left and said he smelled death coming, so, you know, he had to dip. Back at dinner with Donald Blake and Jane, he learns that she's actually working in the morgue, and he's like curious, like, you were a great surgeon, why the hell are you working in a morgue now? And that's because, you know, she is the Valkyrie now, for those of you who don't know. And, you know, Valkyrie, the women of Asgard who guide the souls of like dead warriors to Valhalla. So that's, you know, basically what Valkyrie or Jane Foster is right now. But pretty soon Blake cuts to the chase and asks like, do you know where Odin is? And she lets him know that they are, you know, not on the best terms because of her time as Thor. Donald Blake has a, you know, a conniption in his head when he hears this, like, what was that? Basically like the whole like Peter Quill scene kind of like takes place like from Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and causes him to use the legendary soul suck attack on her. Steals all of her swag, sucks the soul right out when she finally tells you about her past. And this ended up being just in Donald Blake's head, but in all seriousness, this was like an amazing splash page. Like Nick Klein always, when he draws this kind of like ethereal, ghostly kind of figure or whatever, like this soul kind of attack, I always love to see it. I always love Nick Klein's like art period, but this was really good. And I also like the coloring that Matt Wilson does, you know, the contrast between the blue and the purple, contrast to the warm colors at the bottom for like the real world, like the non like magical section of the splash page. I thought it was really nice. So Blake does what any man does after they find out about a woman's past, and he dips. And you can tell just how scorned he is because of how he's feeling about Thor's in general right now, and knowing now that a woman that he once loved and loved him has been a Thor, it's gotta be like crazy conflicting inside of him. Then when Jane Foster goes back to work at the morgue, she is met with the body, the absolute decimated, charred, just unrecognizable body of Roger Norvell, Red Norvell. And I believe I said in a previous video, like, I don't know if these people are gonna show up, but I guess I forgot, because you guys know I'm already on issue 14, caught up on all the Thor stuff, but it's like, how could I forget that? But basically, yeah, Red Norvell's dead. He's not coming back. Blake got to him already. It's pretty crazy, and Jane's kind of in denial because, I mean, this guy was obviously Thor, and she knows that Donald Blake is back, so she's kind of putting two and two together together in her mind, but she doesn't really want to believe it. And the book ends with Blake transported to this undisclosed location, and he gets absolutely zapped with this huge strike of thunder by none other than the mighty, the legendary, the impeccable Thor, with the homie Lockjaw chilling in the back for emotional support, of course. It was just a great last page, and honestly, if I had it my way, this is how I would end most pages of Marvel Comics, or even DC Comics, with Throg. But hey, it is what it is. Anyways, this was a solid read. We got to see more into the mind of Donald Blake and how he's feeling and how truly deranged that mind is. The biggest sell for this particular issue is the art, because not a lot of stuff does happen, stuff that we could already like kind of predict. You know, he's on a killing spree for Thor, so that's why Norvell died. But this is mostly an art book. Like, I would get this because the art is so good. Like Nick Klein's books, you can always count on the art, and that's why this team is so good, because maybe not a lot of stuff happens in the book, but you'll always get good art. And if there isn't great art, or you know, art at the level of Nick Klein, then we're always gonna get a good story. So I think it balances it out really well, which is why I always recommend Thor in each one of these videos. It's the best book in Marvel. I've said it a million times, guys. You should know by now. If you don't know, well, now you know. And as always, guys, let me know your thoughts on the video and on the series if you're following along. Let me know if you're reading it or you're just watching the videos. If you're doing both, let me know how I'm doing, if I'm doing a good job explaining these videos. If you want me to go in depth on some certain topic about the stories or whatever, let me know. I'm all ears. That's it. If you like the video, leave me a thumbs up, comment down below, and if you want, subscribe. I always appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.